Welcome everyone to Century Bowl in Waterford for the exciting semifinal rounds of the Bowling Showcase Challenge Century Bowl region. I'm your host, Mark Martin, and I want to thank you for joining me for this very exciting series of matches. Here we are, the semifinals of the Century Bowl region. Now, if you remember from our earlier episodes, this year's Bowling Showcase Challenge is divided into two regions, the Mary Bowl region and the Century Bowl region. And earlier in the season, Woodland Lanes fought through their competition to earn the right to represent the Mary Bowl region, and they're eagerly awaiting their final opponent to emerge from these matches. So who will this opponent be? The Century Bowl region started with 8 teams, and after 4 weeks of head-to-head single-game Baker elimination matches, 4 teams remain to continue their quest to be crowned the 2019 Bowling Showcase Challenge champions. I think that brings us up to date. The semifinal rounds of the Century Bowl region, let's take a look at today's matchup. This week's regional semifinal match features Team Monopoly facing off against Waterford Lanes. Team Monopoly, how did they get here? They got here by beating Lady Liberty back in round 1. Their opponent today is Waterford Lanes, who punched their ticket to the semifinals by beating Mary Bowl, setting up our match today. Both these teams are one step away from the regional title match and getting the chance to compete for the championship. Today should be an exciting and competitive all-out battle through the final frames. And joining me for all that action on the lanes is Women's Series standout and former Team Canada member, Robin Orlikowski. So let's take a quick little break. Join me back at laneside for the start of this exciting match next on Bowling Showcase.
We've won a lot of professional tournaments. We've won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Franz, the General Manager here at Century Bowl, and I'd like to welcome the Bowling Showcase. Take it away, Mark.
Okay, here we are in the semifinals of the Bowling Showcase Challenge Century Bowl edition, or region. AMF Rose Bowl, Team Monopoly against Waterford Lanes. What do you expect in this, Robin?
You know, now we're getting down to the top teams, so I'm expecting big things out of both of them. They had decent scores in their first round matches. In their first round matches, yeah. That I expect that it's going to be a pretty tight match here.
Well, we've got Jessica Coloni coming up for the Team Monopoly. This team has kind of been together, and they bowled in the challenge before. Not every one of them, but a few of them. And so Jessica up on the left-hand lane, high average 201.
Oh, the team likes it.
Okay, leaves the 10-pin, that pesky 10-pin. You know, ironically, you know, I've called it the pesky 10-pin many times. And Sheila Meyer, who bowls in my mixed league, and I've known her forever, her and her husband Bob forever. A few weeks ago in bowling, she said to me, I left that pesky 10-pin just like you talk about.
She pays attention.
She does.
All
it
right.
was great.
Jessica's really good at picking up her 10 pins there.
She is. Well, you know, you can leave them, but you got to cover them.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. Dave Nelson now for the Waterford Lanes team. Thanks again to DC and Mickey Kraft for their support of Bowling Showcase by putting a team in. As you talked about in their last match, Robin, Dave really turned it on this year. Has had a career year.
Yeah.
Leaves the 4-10 split.
That shot there, looked like he fell off his shot a little bit. Maybe he was a little too quick and left a pretty sizable split here, the 4-10, which If I'm going to leave a split, I'd rather leave a 2-10, a little bit easier.
Right.
But my suggestion would be try to go for it. Early in the game.
Yep. And he did try to go for it, just didn't quite make it.
Having an open in the first frame is not the end of the world.
No, by no means.
We've seen it before where they had an open and then the next 4 bowlers struck. So
that's right. So Gary Moss up on the left-hand lane for the AMF Rose Bowl Team Monopoly team. Team Monopoly team. Why am I saying it that way? From Roseville. High average 231. Oh, trips the 2-pin forward.
Nice. That's the type of carry you want, and so it wasn't the best shot off of his hand, but it carried. So that's when you know you have the right ball in your hand. I say it often that when you can strike ugly, you have the right ball.
Very nice. Okay, Megan Clark up for the Waterford team on the left-hand lane. Crosses over, leaves the 6-pin.
Megan is engaged to Nick Hughes, who is also on the team today, and he proposed to her at a bowling center.
Very nice.
They met in bowling, so it seemed like an appropriate place to get engaged. All right.
And a good cover by Megan.
Well done.
So Ronnie Carroll, Carl as he likes to be called, up on the left-hand lane, been bowling for 30 years. He's a union welder.
He's keeping bowling in the family as well because I think he's engaged to Tiffany Miller, who's a GM of AMF Rose Bowl.
Ooh, 5-10 on a pocket shot. And for a split instant, it was a 5-7-10.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
So as a right-hander, a 5-10 is difficult to pick up. It's not
as bad as the 4-10 we saw here.
Right, but you really have to just barely hit the 5-pin on the left side to scoot it over into the 10-pin position. Looks like he tried to back it up there. All right, Megan's fiance up to bowl.
Nick Hughes.
He has 4 300s in his career and a high series of 771.
Comes a little light, leaves a 2-pin.
Okay. His goal really is to shoot at 800 series because in his mind, that's when you put a good 3 games together versus just 1 game. So he's really shooting to score 800 this season or soon. Notice there he didn't use his thumb, and I think he hasn't used his thumb this whole series, right?
Okay, right. Okay, up on the left-hand lane for the Team Monopoly, Ryan Brulio. Ryan's on Motive staff, throwing one of the new balls, the Golden Jackal. High average of 230.
He's proud to be on the All-City team 2 times.
Comes a little high, leaves
All right.
the 4-7.
Lucky to get that 6-pin out there. I think there was a 6-pin that fell late.
Yes. Ryan is a granite fabricator. So those of you that have granite countertops, he can take care of you.
Can help you out.
That's right.
I could probably use him for some new countertops. He's going to hook into it.
And good cover by Ryan. So next up is Tig Warden. You know, we talked the last time they bowled about how lucky he is at ball raffles. And guess what he won today?
A ball raffle.
Another ball raffle.
So that takes him to 13 bowling balls that he's won in a raffle.
Amazing.
He is
Absolutely
lucky.
Amazing.
Nice shot there. Little light's going to carry. Leaves the 8.
Oh, leaves the 8-pin. Okay, with a cover here of the 8-pin, relatively easy spare, the match will be dead tied, 46 each through 3.
So he recently shot a 799 series. That's his high series.
Ooh.
And his last game was a 300, and he called it before he even started his third game. He said, "I want to shoot 300 for 799."
And he did it.
And he did it.
He called his shot.
That's awesome.
Okay, Derek Thompson for Team Monopoly up on the left-hand lane. Derek, high average 242, 19 300 games, 17 800 series with a high of 855. And a big strike.
Nice one.
And John Scott, anchor bowler for the Waterford Lanes team, getting up on the right-hand lane. We're getting ready to make the turn here. Dead even match. With a strike here, we will be dead even going into the second half.
Feeling good here. Feeling that he's going to put the pressure on to square up this match.
And he does.
Nice.
So there we are, halfway through this semifinal match between AMF Rose Bowl, Team Monopoly, and Waterford Lanes. Tied, both teams 66 in the 4th frame and a strike up in the 5th. Is this going to be a repeat of a previous match we've had where we had a tie?
Ooh, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
It would be. It was great when that happened, but we'll find out. You know, that was the 2 weeks ago when that happened, when they tied at 215. The other Rose Bowl team tied at that point and prevailed over Indian Lanes. So we'll be back right after these messages on Bowling Showcase. Second half of the match coming up. Be there.
Monopoly it comes from a bowling club that 3 of us are members of. So Tiffany, the general manager of Rose Bowl, is also a member of the Monopoly Bowling Club. So that's how we got our name. We were picked, 2 of us are returning from last year, and we have a 3-member change from last year. And we all bowl at Rose Bowl. Preparing for today, we got to make sure that we pick up our spares. That was our downfall last year. With what we have today, our chances are a lot better than what we were last year right now. To the other team, Rose Bowl's coming.
The hug pickup, the home run swing, the drum major high step, the genuine joy, the unforgettable party, the food, the friends, the original social network. No matter who you are, it's always a great time. Grab your family, find a friend, and go bowling.
DC, the proprietor of Waterford Lanes, asked me to put a team together that would represent Waterford Lanes and everything. So got a bunch of the people that have bowled at Waterford since DC and Mickey took over the place. So all of us have been together, good friends. We bowled with each other for 10, 15 years, even before DC and Mickey took over Waterford Lanes. Got one left-hander, you know, they carry everything, so he gets a little special, but just good friends, good bowlers, good mix. Guys that throw with thumbs, one with no thumb. Megan's a good bowler, so just bowl our own. We can't control what they do. Just have fun, enjoy. That's what this is, bowling's about, just having fun. So that's what we want. Bring it on, puppy dog.
Perfect.
So here we are coming up the second half of this first semifinal match. Waterford Lanes is now on the left side, AMF Rose Bowl, Team Monopoly on the right side. Dead even, 66 through 4 frames. Both teams with the strike up. Robin, what do you see in the second half here?
Well, you know, it's almost like it's a fresh game now. They're dead even, so just go out there and throw the best ball you can, relax, enjoy the moment, and try to help your team out. So
one shot at a time.
Exactly.
Yep. Dave Nelson now up on the left-hand lane for Waterford Lanes.
In his free time, he really enjoys playing softball in the summertime. He had a
little wide.
little bit of a high backswing there. I think he just got a little too quick and just didn't really catch it at the bottom of his
the swing, yeah.
swing there, yeah.
Oh, I left the 2-4-5 relatively easy spare, especially for a bowler of his experience.
Yes. Yep, he's been bowling for 38 years. Their throw was much better.
Yep, and covers it easily. Jessica Coloni, leadoff bowler for the team Monopoly, up on the right-hand lane.
She's a part of the sales team at Delore Brothers, and she has a master's in psychology, so I'm wondering if she can manipulate those people to buy more bowling balls that way with that degree.
Interesting combination, isn't it? Got a little wide there. Came back. Ooh. Left the 2-pin.
So last time she left the 10-pin, this time
The
a 2-pin. A little light, but 2-pin is still not a bad pin to leave. Relatively in the middle of the lane. Should be easy to pick up.
I think I'd rather shoot it at 2 than a 10 any day of the week.
Yeah. Probability of picking it up is probably greater.
And she covers it. Again, the match still dead tied. 86 now through 5. Both teams with a spare up in the 6th frame. Megan Clark up for the Waterford Lanes team on the left-hand lane. High average 167. Been bowling since the age of 3. Looks like she got 4 pins there. Left kind of an ugly one. Well, maybe 5 pins. Yep, 5 pins. Nope, 4 pins.
4.
Yep.
Yep.
Didn't see that sleeper there.
Yep.
So she left a 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 5.
All right, better
8,
throw there.
9.
Okay.
All right.
Little light. That's okay.
So she got 4 and 3. So they have 107 through 7 frames.
So Gary up on the right lane here for Rose Bowl. He is a U.S. veteran. He was a part of the Navy Seabee Combat Battalion. He's a very decorated veteran. And thank him so much for his service. And
Absolutely.
almost left the 7-10 there.
For a moment, it was standing there, and all of a sudden, a messenger said to the 10-pin, "You're down."
Yeah. He's probably like, whew, thank you. All right.
And covers it.
I like how he posted that on his spare. And what I mean by posted, like he had a very solid approach and didn't pop up or fall off his shot at the foul line.
So Nick Hughes now up on the left-hand lane for Waterford Lanes here at the Century Bowl Region Bowling Showcase Challenge.
Nick likes to play video games in his spare time.
And a big strike for Nick.
Awesome.
So Ron Carroll, or Carl as he'd like to be called, we try to be proper on this show, call them by their proper name, but you know, those things happen. Up on the right-hand lane, high average of 236. Been bowling for 30 years, and again, as mentioned earlier, he's engaged to Tiffany Miller, the general manager of AMF Rose Bowl. Wide, leaves the 1-2.
So for this spare, you're going to use your strike ball. You're going to move a few boards to the right, depending on your comfort zone. I would say somewhere between 1 to 3 boards to the right. So you can get a little bit heavier on the left side of the head pin to go hit the 1-2 with the ball.
He was listening to you.
He does very well.
Team Monopoly with a 16-pin lead through 8 frames. Coming up in the foundation 9th frame, Ty Warden. Waterford Lanes working on a strike. there's any time to double, this is it.
Yeah, they could use this here. It's still a relatively close game. Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah. He was yelling at the pins.
You could tell off his hand that was a good ball.
He was yelling at the pins, too. So on the right-hand lane, Ryan Brulio up. Would like to match that. So Waterford Lanes took that 16-pin lead that Team Monopoly had and pared it down to 6 pins. So it's now a 6-pin differential.
Strike here would really help their team. Ninth frame is considered a foundation frame.
You got it. Okay, so here's the setup. The Waterford Lanes team has a max score of 197. They're up on the left-hand lane with their anchor person, John Scott. And Team Monopoly has a max score of 203. So if John Scott were to get a double here and a good count, he forces Team Monopoly to double in the 10th.
And the last frame, he threw a really nice ball. Fell off that just a little bit, but it carried.
He did.
Nice. Even threw wood there.
So John's got the first one in the 10th. John lives in Commerce Township and is a manager at Chet's Rental. Been bowling for 40 years.
Oh, come on.
Oh, left
All
corner
right.
7-pin.
John really likes to cook for his friends and family. Should have asked him what he likes to cook the most, because some people are the grill master and some people are good bakers.
Right.
And just some people are just overall good cooks.
Hey, good cover by John. So here's the setup. Waterford Lanes, 184. Team Monopoly, 143 in the 8th. Strike up in the 9th. Derek Thompson needs a strike here to seal the deal.
To close them out.
Yep. This needs this and count, and good count. Needs this strike and count. Anything less than a strike right here, and Waterford Lanes will win the match.
Pressure is on. I think he knows it. Good shot. Oh my goodness.
Oh, leaves the 4-6.
Darn.
But whether it be a 4-6 or a 6-pin or a 7-pin, the match still would have been over. Because the best they could have done with a spare is 183.
Okay.
And 184 is already in the books for Waterford Lanes. Okay, it gets one. So the final score of this match, Waterford Lanes 184, Team Monopoly 171. I think that that strike in the 10th frame by John Scott put just enough pressure on Derek Thompson. Looks like he took a little extra time trying to be sure. Left that disastrous 4-6 split.
Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to come out on top for his team, but everybody did well, and they should be proud of how they performed.
Should be. Waterford Lanes now advances to the finals of the Century Bowl region, and we'll be back right after these messages with Ken Clayton interviewing the winning team about their next match ahead, right here on Bowling Showcase.
Michigan State USBC provides tournament competition and recognition for men, women, and youth in Michigan. The championship events for this season include the Women's Championship beginning in February in Lansing, the Open Championship beginning in January in Grand Blanc, and the Youth Championship beginning in March in Granville and Comstock Park. These events are open to all members of the association based on gender and membership. Other events for higher average bowlers include the Youth Masters in November in Battle Creek, the Queens in April in Sanford, The Senior Masters for those over 50 in March and Masters in April, both in Battle Creek. Pepsi Youth events take place in your league with qualifiers advancing to the state finals in May in Troy and Sterling Heights. Visit MichiganStateUSBC.com for entry blanks and more information on the Michigan State USBC.
Welcome back to Bowling Showcase. Very tight match between Waterford Lanes and the Rose Bowl kids. Waterford, back and forth. You can take a deep breath now. You're on to the next round. How'd you guys do it?
Tough match. Only one double in the whole game, like you said earlier. Just, we got a couple breaks, made spares. They had a couple opens that hurt them. So, good team though. They bowled real good all day today.
You guys did a great job. Congratulations and advance to the next round. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Ken. Here we are. Waterford Lanes now has advanced to the finals of the Bowling Showcase Challenge Century Bowl region.
The new kids to the block.
The new kids on the block.
They
did
are making it.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
You know, so next week we have the other Rose Bowl team and 5-star in the second semifinal. So this semifinal is in the books. Waterford Lanes 184, Rose Bowl Team Monopoly 171. So next week, look for the second semifinal match, 5-star and AMF Rose Bowl, right here on Bowling Showcase.